the next trip also. They start telling me about various other options, and they start routing me by giving different layovers or different stoppages just to meet my budgetary requirements. I may like the street food, you may like the Michelin star food, and they start curating not only your travel booking, but they actually curate what you are likely to do on your holidays. And they even will tell you, pack one of your favorite Jane Austen books. So probably you will have a better interior designer so that you can make omelette in your car. Right? If you can make omelette in your aircraft, why can't you make omelette in a car?
True.
113 different... Cannot place Commissioner Police, but anyway, my parents named me Chandra Prakash, and I think within the first 4 years of my life, I became CP. Same predetermined number of days, hours, months, years. If we are bold, we are only going to make our lives better and somebody else's life better.
What if the future of business wasn't just automated, but genuinely intelligent? A future where technology doesn't replace us, but elevates us. To explore that very idea, we have a true architect of the AI native world with us. A leader who doesn't just witness the digital revolution. He shaped it, turning companies into global powerhouses and now building systems that think. On this very special episode of the 973 show, and I am Raji Unnikrishnan, with me is the co-founder and Vice Chairman of AIonOS, the one and only CP Gurnani. Welcome, Mr. Gurnani, to the studios of Live FM 107.2.
Thank you, Live FM, for giving me an opportunity to do my first radio interview.
Oh, indeed, a pleasure. Pleasure. That's an honor for us.
I've done about 300 TV interviews.
Okay.
But this is my first radio interview.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I think on behalf of Live FM 107.2, we thank SM Hussaini, the Chief Executive of Al Moyed Computers Middle East, for making this conversation possible. I would call it historic for you, right?
It is. I mean, ultimately, whenever I write my memoir, I'll say Raji Unnikrishnan.
Oh, that's such an honor. That's such an honor.
And Live FM. That is what is now embedded in my memory.
Beautiful, sir. Beautiful. So we've been just building up the whole day as to looking forward to this conversation because this topic is very interesting and the community out there is all ears. Let's begin with this question. Your new venture, AIonOS. It is described as a first AI-first company with the purpose of shaping an AI-native future, if I'm not mistaken. For the listeners out there who might find this term a bit technical, could you please paint it a little beautiful, connecting it to everyday life, say like when you're booking a flight or managing your health or handling our finances? So let's begin on that note.
It's a good question. First is let's go back and understand what AIonOS is.
I would just is it AIonOS? Is that how I should say it? It's correct.
No, it's AIonOS, but I wanted to also break it down for you to relate and be able to participate with me.
Okay.
So it's AIonOS means it is everything that we do at AIonOS is about using AI to transform, to be able to upscale, or in different words is if I'm dealing with an operations, if I was dealing with Live FM, it would mean, can I help you run Live FM better? Mm-hmm. Can I help you change and bring it through different medias to the audience? Or number third is, can I help you better outreach, which means grow. The way I look at AI today is compute became part of our lives. Almost everybody. Mm-hmm. My 90-year-old mother-in-law uses iPad. Honestly, she doesn't watch TV. She is more on the iPad. Mm-hmm. It only shows is that if my, 18-month grandchild and 90-year-old mother-in-law, if they're both using a medium and being able to find a content which suits them,
Yes.
that means technology is now part of your and my life.
That's right.
Now, let's bring in another ingredient out there, which is AI. AI is not new. AI has been part of the lab since 1955. And today what you have is a more exponential growth. So I would like to say that AI has now become the new electricity. I mean, it is part of us, whether you call it as AI or you call it, for example, when I came into Bahrain, I mean, I came through electronic gate.
E-gates, yes.
Now that electronic gate is nothing but a Vision Express. Maybe tomorrow it will be conversational AI. Maybe the third day it will not only, look at my face, maybe it will start anticipating. It will start talking to me and say, welcome CP.
Interesting, isn't it?
So my only point is that you talked about booking engine. I think that was what is a technology which was, in India we have this site called Make My Trip.
Make My Trip, yeah.
And they just finished 25 years of existence. What did they do? They replaced your travel agent by an electronic media.
Right.
Now today, when I type in, give me a flight Bahrain to Delhi, they start telling me about the next trip also. They start telling me about various other options and they start routing me by giving different layovers or different stoppages just to meet my budgetary requirements. So I think booking engines are 25-year-old technologies. What you tomorrow have, I'm using the word tomorrow if you notice.
Yes.
I'm using the word tomorrow is where they understand. The engine, AI engine understands you. AI engine knows that for you a holiday means trekking, walking on the beach and, eating one of those gourmet foods. And I may like the street food, you may like the Michelin star food, and they start curating not only your travel booking, but they actually curate what you are likely to do on your holidays. And they even will tell you, pack one of your favorite Jane Austen books.
True that. And, it looks like, that is soon the day that's coming is it starts curating my dreams, isn't it? Our dreams.
I think, I hope not. Because I do understand that, there's another word called neural AI.
Neural AI.
And the neural AI is that will AI be able to mimic an Indian brain? The individual's brain.
A human brain, yeah.
And will it be able to do a human brain? I think there are advances being made. But some experiences, I hope they do not become outsourced to AI. For example, I'm a foodie. I love eating food. I love experimenting. This is the third time I brought in food out here, right?
I'm about to ask you something about that soon after this. Yes.
Right. So my point is that there are lived experiences. There are experiences that I don't think hybrid. I don't think AI will take over. But at the same time, I'm sure that a lab experiment of mixing a Malayali food with a Punjabi food, I think that can be taken over by an AI.
Right.
So the focus or the point I'm trying to make here is that if we embrace technology, we will be ahead. Otherwise, technology will have solutions. And most of us are smart enough to embrace technology.
Interesting. Is this the first time in Bahrain?
Second time, really.
Okay. You just picked words out of my mouth and you said, I'm referring to food for 3 times now. it's very obvious that you are a foodie. What is the best food that you like in Bahrain?
It's interesting. I ended up in a restaurant. It was an Irani restaurant in a hotel called Gulf Hotel.
Okay.
And I had a Gujarati friend with me. And obviously our common friend Syed Hosseini was hosting us.
Hosseini, yeah.
And my Gujarati friend did not like the menu on the Irani side because it was not enough vegetarian. And what did we end up eating? Food by a chef called Vineet, Rasoi.
Rasoi, okay.
And plus this Irani food. And I thought it was a deadly combination. I mean, the Persians were those who brought the food, some of the food to India, would probably be complimenting me from their graves that, we're doing a good job of mixing saffron rice and the biryanis.
Great, great. Gurnani Sahab, the next point that I would like to talk to you about is the central theme in your career is the belief that technology should serve people. I think even in your initial answer, you touched upon this. Technology should be there to help people, not the other way around. So in this era where we are talking where the fear is there or the concern is there that AI might replace human jobs and creativity, how does AIonOS ensure its platform enhances and empower human workforce instead of displacing it?
Technology was built by people, for the people, and in my opinion, people are smart enough to know technology is not yesterday. We have been evolving with technology. You've heard of the Industrial Revolution. You heard of, the horses being replaced by the cars. You heard of 1955, climate control happens through air conditioner. And now today is part of your life. And similarly, most of us have forgotten that there was a manual typewriter or an electric typewriter. Most of you in media industry have forgotten.
And that is now like an antique, right? We save them like antiques.
Right. So most of us have forgotten that even a cell phone, which came in only in 97, 98, has evolved to become everything other than probably a fan or a refrigerator.
Right.
Right. I mean, I know I'm just pulling a fast one, but who knows what is coming around the corner. But the point here is that people have adopted, whether it was an air conditioner or a car or a harvester or a cell phone or an iPhone, I mean, whatever you want to call it. Similarly, AI will create new business opportunities. AI will definitely take away all the repetitive jobs. Like, for example, I mean, you all have seen that today a creative ad copy can be generated in less than an hour. You would be surprised. Actually, a friend of mine and my wife is also a movie producer. So a friend of mine and my wife, Anita, they both got together and said, we want to make a small movie, 15-minute movie on Swami Vivekanand, and we want to do it on, through AI, and we want it by tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And my team honestly did 2 versions, and the movie producer friend and my wife, both of them liked one of the versions. Why? It was so almost real. It was about 80% real. I won't say 100% real. Now here, what have you seen? People using technology to deliver a message by harnessing the power and reducing the cycle time.
Right.
So I think there will be more jobs being created at the same time. My estimate is whatever jobs that we see in the market today, about 30% will disappear in 2 years and 50% will definitely disappear in 4 years. Now, what are the kind of new jobs that will get created? And some are very obvious that harnessing or running the technology will be the first one. I mean, it's the same way. When you got a car, you also needed a driver.
Yes.
Similarly, now you have driverless cars. So probably you will have a better interior designer so that you can make omelette in your car. Right? If you can make omelette in your aircraft, why can't you make omelette in a car?
True.
Right? So my only submission here is that be a learner and watch out for what technology will do. And it's better that you learn and master it. And it is happening every day. All of us are doing it. And if we are doing it, I think we just need to make it a habit, make it a practice.
That is so reassuring an explanation, in a world which is really, really struggling with this, reeling with this question as to AI is here to steal all our jobs. That is so reassuring. And that is the co-founder and Vice Chairman of AIonOS, the one and only CP Gurnani with us. And sir, it's indeed interesting to see your musical interest. What a lovely song selection. What a lovely 5-6 songs that you have chosen for our listeners today. Are you a die-hard Kishore Kumar fan?
Definitely, yes. And it also tells you my vintage.
Not necessarily, not necessarily.
I promise you my son would definitely would not have picked up these songs.
Mr. Gurnani, coming back to you again with this questions related to many things which you're putting it out to our listeners in a very easy manner, in a very broken down manner, which I'm really happy to listen to. Coming back to your experience with corporates, you have led one of the most corporate turnouts in history at Satyam, which is a case now being studied in the Harvard. If I may ask you, what was that single important leadership lesson which you took out of that experience and perhaps applying it in your new company when you were setting it up, the AIonOS?
Again, I want to be grateful to Live FM 107.2 for giving me an opportunity to go back to 2009 and talk about the Satyam, which was then considered one of the worst corporate frauds in the Indian corporate history. If I were to look at the challenges, there were many. We had about 36 lawsuits in different parts of the world to fight. We had a situation where the customers needed a daily reassurance that Mahindra Satyam, which is Mahindra was a company, which had taken over, was sincere and serious about, supporting the customers. More than that, there were associates, which means our employees, who wanted to know, why they should continue working. Because if they don't work, how do I serve the customer? Right. And if I don't serve the customer, what is the company? It was ultimately a consulting organization. What I want to say, the best part of that journey in 2009 was the grit and the determination of the leadership, the grit and the determination of the people who had worked for Satyam, who rallied behind us at Mahindra Group, and we merged together to create Mahindra Satyam. And now I can proudly say that it is the spirit of Mahindra Satyam which worked hard and created history. The best part of that journey was we all knew what is the right thing to be done. The right thing to be done was save the reputation, build your own credibility, build the trust again, and build the relationship and go that extra mile. And it all happened because the team worked together. And all I can say now when I look back is sometimes I think there are these corporate lessons which they say war room. They say, create a war-like situation. I was in a war And I'm happy because not only did we deliver, but we delivered beautiful results, and we did it by focusing on the customer, focusing on the people. And the best part is when you've been calling me Mr. Gurnani, everybody else calls me CP. And one of the employees stood up and he said, now I understand what CP means. It means customers and people.
That is interesting. I really wanted to ask you, what does CP stand for? Because your profile says you are known as CP. But without knowing what does CP stand for, it wouldn't look nice that I'm calling you CP.
I mean, since I live in Delhi, I can only tell you that there are 113 different cannot place Commissioner Police. But anyway, my parents named me Chandra Prakash. And I think within the first 4 years of my life, I became CP.
Okay. That's interesting. Thank you. I would call you CP from now on. Now, connecting the previous question to sustainability aspect, Tech Mahindra was recognized on the Dow Jones Sustainability Index for 8 years under your leadership. And, there's always this perceived tension between driving profitability and investing in green practices or sustainability. From your experiences, in this very era which it demands high, the green practices of sustainability, how do these two goals work together or hand in hand to build a more resilient business?
It's not only Tech Mahindra, even at AIonOS, which is now only 16 months old, we've taken sustainability as a part of our core. So one of my service offerings is using AI to reduce electrical consumption or power consumption at the hotels, at the airports. And why did I take this as one of my first offerings is because if you can measure it, you can fix it.
Right.
And for example, if I walked into this room and if I had my sensors and which were able to take into account that the load requirement versus what we are consuming. Number two, when we leave the room, why can't I switch it off? And number third is, can I plan the load in such a way that I do not unnecessarily generate electricity? Correct. I'm just taking that as one example. Now, doing good, when it saves money for you, it should save money for the bottom line also. So clearly, our own, journey, and that's my corporate journey, is that whether we were at Mahindra Group or whether we were at, the tech subsidiary called Tech Mahindra, our chairman Anand Mahindra was very, very keen that he was moved by a simple slogan that it is his responsibility and us as employees, us as his leadership team, that we leave the world in a better position, in a better environment. And if it means measuring and being able to report what our current consumption of carbon is or what we are generating of carbon and how do we reduce it and how do we become a zero carbon company, what I did was that I took it and made it as a practice. And that's what I'm doing at AIonOS also.
Right. So I think it's also a responsibility, a greater responsibility to the planet. We need to make sure that the planet stays alive for the upcoming generations. Yes, and that is the co-founder and vice chairman of AIonOS with us on the studios of Live FM 107.2. So Mr. Gurnani, coming back to you, beyond the boardroom, you're deeply involved in education through universities and you also co-founded the NGO Titlian. Why have you made giving back such a core part of life? It was so beautiful to read your profile that you believe so strongly in giving back to the community. And how do you see these kind of initiatives like skilling and community health as being very fundamental to India's or the larger world's technological future?
I think I'm getting into a reflective mode for a minute.
I could see that on your face, when I was looking at you.
And the reflection is, I have to thank my parents. Mm-hmm. They, in a way, improvised on the Vedas to tell me, first 25 years are for learning, next 25 years are for, earning, mm-hmm. and the next 25 years are for returning. Mm-hmm. And fourth, of course, coming from a family which believed in morning going to gurdwaras and evening going to temples.
Okay.
That the last 25 years, I'm assuming that they don't want me to go to a Vanprastha ashram, which is into the forest, but they expect me to start embracing spirituality in a bigger way.
Mm-hmm.
But 25 years of returning, I mean, clearly for me and my wife Annu, the biggest decision was that why wait for 25 years? Number one, because God has been kind to us. Number two was, what is it that we make real impact? When we looked at our lives for both Annu and I grew up in a small town, Neemach in Madhya Pradesh, as when I was born. I grew up in 7 different schools, all small towns. And when I went for my engineering also, it wasn't a very big town. It was Rourkela in Odisha.
Mm-hmm.
And a small town guy, if he has been able to walk into the boardrooms or being able to represent my company at 14 World Economic Forums in Davos, it was only because education is what my parents gave to me. To them, the greatest wealth that they could ever give to me was education.
Beautifully said.
And Anu and I both decided that let's make education, I mean, there's so much more to be done for returning, but let's make education as the biggest, pivot, biggest vector for us.
Mm-hmm.
So Annu spends a lot more time on Titliyan, where she has about 2,000 slum children, children from the shanty towns. Her biggest struggle is getting the parents to agree that education is important, because they all become earning hands very fast.
Right.
So we do remedial education at Titliyan. I got involved in a collective philanthropy. About 100 plus of us formed a university called Plaksha. When we are internally doing our strategy sessions, we call it Stanford of the future.
Beautiful.
So that is what we are trying to create, a technological university with a clear differentiation, clear edge, and we're going to make leaders of tomorrow.
And I'm in love with this name, Titliyan.
Yeah,
Is it Anuji's selection?
Of course, it is her selection, including me.
So you mean to say all her selections are wonderful? Well, Anuji, if you're listening to us, it's a big hi from Team Live FM 107.2. We're really happy to listen to this beautiful project. I know you love Kishore Kumar songs. What are your other hobbies or passions in life?
Building organization, creating impact. I do read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I watch movies.
What is the latest? Which is the latest movie that you watched?
Actually, half of it is what I watched coming in on a flight. It was called The George.
Okay.
I'm still working on it. So by the time I return, I would have told you what is the latest.
Okay.
But unfortunately, most of my watching movies is now become in flight, because I end up traveling about 15 days a month.
Okay.
And this is my meditation, sorry.
Yeah, both stands, I think, the way I thought you meant mediation. Fine. You've been named among the top 100 most influential global leaders in AI. So if we could wrap up this conversation, if I ask you, for the young students and aspiring entrepreneurs who are listening to us, what is your key piece of advice for building a career that is that would successfully merge, technology, the real life, and the meaningful impact, which you just now said, it's all about giving back. What would be your advice?
My inspiration is, medical doctors. Why do I call them as inspiration is because A, they're always giving back.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is they're always learning. I have never met a doctor who does not spend about 20 to 30 days a year on learning new things.
Yes.
So all I'm trying to say is we have all motives to look after our families, motives to become better in our professional lives. Our motive is to, again, be able to share, what we know or what we have earned. So I can only say, learn from the doctors, learn from some of the leaders. And if you want to make it very simple, then Steve Jobs said, stay hungry, stay foolish. I think that is a way to re-emphasize that continuously innovate and continuously take a few bold steps. God has given us same predetermined number of days, hours, months, years. If we are bold, we are only going to make our lives better and somebody else's life better.
That's again beautifully said. Thank you so much. That was, as expected, anything but artificial intelligence. To our listeners out there, I must tell you, there was always this lovely smile on the face of Mr. Gurnani when he was talking to us about this technology. A massive thank you to you for sharing the vision of a world where technology serves humanity. Proof that the most powerful code is written with empathy. So that was CP Gurnani with us on this special edition of the 973 show. And this is Raji Unnikrishnan signing off, yes, with a thank you to Mr. S.M. Hussaini for making this possible, the Chief Executive of Al Moed Computers Middle East. Well, stay tuned on Live FM 107.2.